Shipwrecks that people think are the most haunted ones ever found. No one knows how long people have been using boats to travel on water, but it is believed that early Egyptians used boats more than 6,000 years ago. There's no way to know how long people have been traveling on the water with ships. Ships go down all the time for many different reasons. Sometimes they sink in shallow water, making finding the wreck easy. Other times, they drop into the deep depths of the ocean, making it impossible to see the impact because we know so little about our oceans, even though we've been on a lot of underwater expeditions. The scariest thing about many of these shipwrecks is that they killed many people on board or working on the ship. Some of these ships went down a long time ago. Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll talk about some of the most haunted shipwrecks scientists have ever found. When you think about how old some of these shipwrecks are, the fact that many of them killed a lot of passengers and crew members is especially horrifying. Number 8. DSS Andrea Doria. After World War III, Italy decided to build the largest, fastest, and safest ship possible. This was considered a matter of national pride for the country. From 1953 to 1956, the boat went on several voyages before it sank in a storm in July of 1956. It was one of the largest ships ever built in Italy. It could carry 1,200 passengers and 500 crew members. Scuba divers often referred to the SS Andrea as the Mount Everest of scuba diving because it is one of the most challenging locations to explore. As the mist cleared, Miss Stockholm emerged from it as well. Because of the fog, the crews of both ships could not see anything that might have been in their path. As a result, the vessel miscommunicated their movements and, without knowing, started heading toward each other, which resulted in terrible collision, and the ship sank 180 feet below the water. Even though the accident resulted in the loss of only 46 lives, the most horrifying thing is that divers who went down to the wreck saw movement inside the ship, even though no fish were present. In addition to this, they report that it feels like someone is touching them. Number 7. The iron construction of the sides. The iron sides were widely regarded as the most elegant and well-appointed vessel available for passenger travel when it was first introduced in 1864. This is because it was one of the first vessels of its kind. Because the leaking problem was getting worse with each voyage, people started saying that the ship was not seaworthy and was considered to be a future disaster event. This was because the problem was getting worse with each voyage. Because the catastrophe was so severe, the crew was in utter terror. In September 1873, a devastating storm struck the ship, causing it to crack, and it began sinking almost immediately afterward. Only 5 lifeboats were available for the passengers, but only 2 of them made it to the shore because the storm prevented other ships from going on a rescue mission. On that day, there were many people lost their lives, and the following day, hundreds of bodies were seen floating with the waves. People claim that they have occasionally heard cries for assistance coming from the location at night. Number 6. The SS Mohegan was a steamship. In October 1898, the ship set sail for the second time between London and New York. The vessel deviated from its supposed path and started heading toward the coast of Cornwall. The ship collided with the treacherous rocks of the Manacles, resulting in the deaths of 106 aboard the vessel. Even though he was in imminent danger of passing away, the ship's captain boarded a lifeboat and made it safely on land. Nobody anticipated the captain, who has a tremendous amount of experience, would make a move because of his level of expertise. Adrift, it is said that the captain intentionally sank the ship so that he could collect the insurance money. The desire to increase one's wealth was the direct cause of the deaths of 106 people. Divers who explore the shipwrecks have reported having strange experiences near the structure. Some of these divers have asserted that they feel something resembling an electrical shock when they touch the system. Another group of divers claims that they saw a peculiar object floating around the wreck. After following the thing, they found a skeleton as if the strange object was directing them toward the structure. The divers believe that the peculiar object intentionally hid the frame. Number 5. Fujikawa Maru and Hokimaru. During World War II in 1944, the United States Navy was responsible for sinking these Japanese ships. Both ships went down in the Turk Lagoon and are now resting at the bottom of the lagoon. Despite sharks in the vicinity, divers who have explored the wreck report hearing machinery operating. An expedition that traveled to the location claims to have observed the engine of one of the ships. Machines are still functioning, which is impossible considering how much time has passed and how badly the ships have aged. Both wrecks are beginning to show signs of decay, contributing to their overall eerie appearance. The damage caused by water also plays a significant role in this. Number 4. RMS Rowan. This Royal Britain mail ship was struck by a hurricane, and the passengers of the vessels were tied to their bunkers to prevent any injuries. This turned out to be a bad idea, as many of the passengers were killed. The RMS Rowan is now one of the most famous wreck diving sites in the Caribbean. The high-pressure winds caused the ship's captain to fall overboard, and he was never seen or heard from again. 145 people went down with the boat, and only 25 died. Now that the wreck site has been adapted to the marine environment, many aquatic life forms have made it their home. Divers who have visited the wreck have reported hearing voices and having physical contact with things that do not exist there. These reports give the beautiful impact and eerie vibe. Number 3. Liberty, a U.S. Army tank. The USS Liberty was a supply ship for the United States Navy that operated during World War II. Because of the damage caused by a torpedo fired by the Japanese, the vessel needed to be towed and brought close to some barley fields. The ship was thrown back into the water after the eruption of Mount Agung in 1963, and it has since sunk to a depth of 30 meters, 100 feet below the water's surface. Divers who have explored the ship's wreckage have reported seeing an unknown object come closer to them before suddenly disappearing. The only thing that has been reported coming from this wreck is a mysterious object that appears like a torpedo. There have been no reports of screams or anything else horrifying from this wreck. However, some believe that the submarine was the factor that led to the sinking of the ship. Number 2. The Salem Express. The Wessel, a French passenger ship, ran aground in the Red Sea in December 1991 after colliding with the Hindman Reefs. During that period, the Wessel was transporting hundreds of Egyptian pilgrims. The ship sank within minutes of being struck, taking the lives of 470 people. Those still missing have not been found. On board were a total of 700 passengers. Due to the wreck's high risk of injury, the divers going there to retrieve bodies or other items were forced to stop doing so. The wreckage is still home to many automobiles and pieces of luggage, in addition to a vast assortment of other things. Divers who have explored the wreck say they have heard children laughing and playing, in addition to the sound of car engines starting up. Some divers have also asserted that they saw the tires of the rusted cars moving, which is implausible given the state of the rust on the vehicles. Number 1. The Emperor of the SS. In 1947, the Canadian ship RIT went down in the waters of Lake Superior, not far from the coast of Ile Royale. In June of 1947, the vessel set sail for its destination with 10.5 tons of iron on board. The ship crashed on canoe rocks near Ile Royale and sank within an hour. 12 of the crew members died in the wreck. The vast majority of people were pulled to safety, but many people are still missing and presumed dead, whose bodies have not been located. The creepiest thing about this is that divers said they saw the slow crews still working underwater on the shipwreck while repeatedly whispering the word "die." This is one of the most disturbing claims. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share and press the bell icon for more regular updates.